So I wanted to do a flow that was focusing on realigning all of the chakras and just getting back into balance with the body. I actually did this flow outside, and it was a really warm day this day, and I ended up getting a cold, so it was interesting. I hadn't moved my body in a really long time, hadn't done yoga in a really long time, so yeah. First off, I started with obviously laying out my mat, and then I set an intention and lit some Palo Santo. You don't have to do this, I'm just letting you know what I did. And then I also used one of my crystals, serpentine, that's in the shape of a spear, and I used it to kind of rub out some knots and pain and soreness that I was feeling in my calf and thigh area. This is a great way to use your crystals in a practical way. I love to do this whenever I'm feeling any soreness, tension, or anything in my muscles, in my body. So I started off with doing that, and then I began getting into flow. I got into downward dog position. As I said, I haven't been really doing yoga, so my body was just very tight, and I kind of needed to work out some of the stiffness. So if you're like me, and you kind of need to work into downward dog and it not feeling as painful, then yeah, you can kind of work out your body like this. I take up my right leg above my body, stretch it out, do the same thing on the left side. This always feels really good, but when you haven't done it for a long time, it can definitely feel stiff and sore. So now I'm lunging and doing warrior pose of sorts. And obviously everything that you do on one side, you're going to do on the other. Again, downward dog was really rough for me, so all of these poses were kind of rough for me since it had been a while. But now we're in seal pose, really breathing through this. And I really like to move my lower body when I'm in seal pose, especially if I haven't done seal pose for a while. It kind of helps with my lower chakra area, pelvic area to stretch out and feel really good. I also love this pose for just stretching out the shoulders. Feels really good. Then we're going to do cat pose. This is also another one of my favorite poses. Then we're going to do a straddle, or I'm sorry, frog. I call this frog pose. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Sometimes I make up names for these poses. If you guys have watched any of my other yoga videos, you know that I don't always use the correct terms for these yoga poses. So this is what you do when you're getting into transition for actually leaning on your elbows, but I didn't actually go through with it. It just felt good. So again, I'm working my way up to a straddle, but I'm moving back and forth to kind of work out my knee area. I really wanted to focus on my knees, my solar plexus, kind of the lower chakras, because that's where I've been feeling a lot of tension. Straddle. What I was saying is that's one of the really great things about yoga is that you can really do whatever feels good for your body. And I always tell you guys this in these videos, that if it feels good for your body, just do it, you know? It won't hurt. It can't hurt. You're stretching your body and moving out the energy. So, yeah, if it feels good to you, definitely go through with it. I also love this pose for the lower chakras, specifically the root to sacral. It's really great for moving the energy up. So usually I start with this in the beginning, but I decided to just go with whatever felt good throughout this whole entire flow. I didn't focus too much on a particular order or doing any certain pose in a specific order. I just went with what felt good in my body. So as you see here, I'm just stretching forward and stretching my arms. I do this about 3 times. I try to keep everything at around 3 or 4 times. But you can do things as many times as you need to feel good. A lot of this flow was improvising, just doing what felt good for my body during the time. So I guess you could say this is kind of an intuitive flow, but yeah. And anytime I kind of lose my balance, I do things like this where I just kind of took my leg around and regained my balance. Here I'm just swinging out my arms, swinging out any tension in my bicep area. So then I'm going to lay down and I lay in the sun for a little while. Feel free to take your time with this flow. Again, as I said earlier, I was focusing a lot on my lower chakras and my pelvic area and opening my hips, because I felt a lot of tension in those areas. But overall, this is a realignment of all the chakras, but specifically focusing on the lower chakras, hip opening, awakening the sacral, and things of this nature. So as you can see, lifting my pelvis area off the mat. Of course, there is a specific name for this pose, but I'm just going to let you know right now. I don't know it, but essentially having your back on the mat and lifting your pelvis area off of the mat. So here is another one of my favorite poses, lifting the bottom half of my body off the mat and bringing it towards my head. And if you've never done this before, I would definitely take your time practicing and doing what feels good for you. If you need to hold your body up while doing this, I would definitely highly recommend that if you're okay with switching in between.